Today, I'm going to be running you through my own mindset reset system for when you're feeling stuck. Now, this is completely unedited, unscripted, spontaneous. I'm just going to see what is going to happen because I just moved to Rio de Janeiro for a couple months. I haven't been that productive these last 2 days, and I want to just do this for myself. And I thought, why not do it live on YouTube? Because that would be super interesting for me if someone else did it, especially a high performance shadow work mindset coach. So that's what we're going to do here today, and we'll just see how it goes. Sometimes it takes 2 minutes if everything's flowing smoothly. Sometimes it can take 20 minutes. But I always find this is worth my time. It goes back to the classic saying, if I had 10 hours to cut a tree, I would spend 9 hours sharpening my axe. And I probably wouldn't do that, but I'd spend at least 5 or 10 minutes sharpening my axe, right? So this is a very simple template I just built for myself over the last couple of months. And it starts with a celebration. And this is very important. I'm not going to go into too much detail about every step because I actually want to just, I guess, get this over with and actually just get back into some kind of flow state. But the reason this is important is because this is actually a very important skill you're supposed to learn between the ages of 7 to 12-ish. And many people and many entrepreneurs especially fail to celebrate. They think celebration is going to cause their whole empire to collapse for some reason. When really what it does is that it just embeds and encourages you to strive for more, to go for more, and to really follow through. I can make a whole other video about this, but there's 5 things you need to learn at that age for really a embodied agency within your life. I don't want to get too much into this, but my celebration today can be successfully move to Rio or back to Rio, and we've got new client acquisition system like ready and prepared. Prepared, looks good, way better than system before, right? These two things are amazing. And I'm just going to talk about how great they are for 30 seconds, not to show off or something, because they're not that impressive to someone else probably, but because I want for myself to realize how impressive they are. That moving back to Rio has been great. I love it here. Beach, weather, caipirinhas. I've got to be a little bit careful getting distracted, but I've got that under control. And I'm just really happy to be there, happy to be here. So I want to celebrate that. And also this new client acquisition system, it looks super good. And that's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of development, a lot of changes. So I'm feeling good about these things. Parts work maintenance. Now, this is slightly more advanced and something I mainly do with clients in private. And it's also can get very personal. I'm actually going to skip this and do it after the video off camera. If you want to find out more, just shoot me a message or something. I can explain it, but it's too much for this quick video. So now, part three, how do I feel overall about the business? Now, that's an interesting question, and I want to take a minute or so just to really feel into this, feel with the head, heart, and body. So I'm going to actually write that down. This is a very important concept because as entrepreneurs and founders, we're paid to be constantly in our head and solving problems. And that is a beautiful part of life. It makes us money, it gets us what we want a lot of the time, and that's great. But when we don't incorporate the heart and the body, we can't have a full integrated whole life. If you want deep love and deep relationships and deep satisfaction, you have to incorporate your heart. And if you just want a full, healthy, balanced life, you need to incorporate your body. And I don't just mean working out. For example, you may be trying to scale to 25K a month, but you have imposter syndrome about if you're really worth that much or whatever it may be. Not saying it's not a big deal, but I'm saying not, it can be anything, like any kind of fear or doubt or limitation in your mind. You'll notice it normally comes up in your body. Maybe it's butterflies in the stomach or tension in your shoulder or whatever it might be. So we have to work with the body, the heart, and the head if we really want to be at our full potential. So, head, how do I feel? Or what do I think may be a better question for the head? Things are looking pretty good. Pretty good. Just need to lock in. lock in with daily deep work, and we'll get where we need to go. Some doubts about systems. Interesting. Then what are these doubts that are coming up for me? I'm not sure if it's going to work, if new system will work, but there's only one way to find out, right? So we've got to push ahead. We've got to keep going. So that's what we'll do. Heart feels good. I've got very good personal systems in my life for that heart space, for that love, for the relationship. So we can just do a little uh, one of those. And then body. Let me tap into the body for a minute. I actually feel a little bit uncomfortable at this desk. I don't know if I need to write this down. This is more just for the viewers, but you can hear me, so whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna actually look into a way to kind of just improve this desk setup in this new Airbnb. It was just a little thing in the back of my mind. I'm glad I brought that up because it will just affect my productivity 5, 10, 15%. So I will say desk. And the other thing was kind of like general anxiety and just wanting to get into the action more. It's like just wanting to take some more action. And that's fine. We can appreciate that. We want to get into the action too as a whole. So we're going to do that. And hide, heart, and body, they seem to be in a fairly good space. Now we're going to do a quick prompt to find any blocks. I'm just going to run through these questions in my head. If anything interesting comes up, I will voice it. So, any problems or patterns? Not really. I just need to lock in. Just need to get some 2, 3 hours of really deep work done. Do you notice any doubts about today's priorities? Interesting. This is interesting because I'm not actually clear what my priorities are. And I was going to do that after this, but I may as well do it now. So I've got content and I've got outreach, basically. These are my two pillars. And content, I think I'm doing YouTube and Twitter. And I've got my outreach system. And this is number one. And I'm doing YouTube right now. Hopefully this video comes out. If you're listening to this, I'm guessing it did. And then Twitter's very much on the back burner. So I'm actually going to spend this whole deep work session all spent on outreach. And I had an idea last night that I want to execute on. Okay. And then any doubts about that? I just got to do it. I got to do it really. Where am I hesitating to take the next step? Another interesting question. I know I wrote these questions myself, but they're still making me think. I think really committing 100%. I'm 88% in, 4% out. Hmm. That's what I'm sensing within at the moment. What is this 12%? So one fun question I like to ask myself is, if that 12% could speak, what would it say? Something like, it's not going to work, I may as well just give up. And it's an interesting one. This actually comes back to the parts work maintenance I'm going to do afterwards, my alignment system, which is like the most powerful thing I've ever discovered. But whatever. So I'm not going to actually dive into that now. I'm going to do it afterwards off YouTube because it's a bit personal and I want to protect that part of myself, which doesn't want to share everything with this YouTube channel, especially about my internal world. I'm happy to share a lot of things and happy to help people, but I don't need to force myself to put everything online without discernment, right? Now, next question. Do you feel any dread, doubt, or resistance about something on your agenda? Hmm. Some of the outreach videos I'm doing like a Jeremy Haynes style system for that. Hmm. I just got to lock in. I don't want to overthink this right now. Overthink right now. We'll maintain an awareness. Where in your plan do you sense it? Yeah, let me just lock in basically. And then moving forward, last question, 10 minutes in, not too bad. Which habitual patterns or distractions are most likely to vote? Wow. Which habitual patterns or distractions are most likely to divert you from your top priority? Now, usual culprit for sure. Instagram Reels. I'm human like everybody else. YouTube. I'd say overly checking Twitter. Um, Finding lunch, actually, funnily enough, might distract me. Because I'm in Rio and I like to go out somewhere new for lunch each day. Um, Today, what else may distract me? I'd say those are probably it. So I'll put phone on grayscale. I think it's already on grayscale. No, it's not. But I'll put up phone on grayscale. That will stop Instagram. I will turn off YouTube recommendations. I think Twitter should be fine. Oh, actually, no, I'll get Twitter blocking Chrome extension, and I'll choose a lunch place now. I'll do it after the stream. You don't need to see that, and then that will probably um, that will mitigate these highly. Let me just recap this quickly. So, I think we're done. These are all the questions. So let me just recap. Move to Rio, which is amazing. New client acquisition system is ready to go, which is great. Password system I'm going to do straight after this video ends. Ed just wants to lock in and has a bit of doubt, which actually links to this doubt, which I'm going to look at afterwards. Heart's in a good space, and body just wants to lock in as well. And one interesting thing is a lot of my self wants to just go, go, go. Like just lock in, just skip all this. But I've surfaced a very important doubt throughout this, which is the first thing. But secondly, it's also really solidified that I just want to go. I just want to get started and working, which will make it easier for me to actually start working and to stay in that flow because I know this is what I want. And yet, I'll focusing on wait, actually, this is actually quite a lot of interesting stuff. Let me do this. So go into alignment. I should probably just do that at the bottom, right? Go into alignment system and investigate slash solve doubt for 100% flow state. Then one thing is this, minimize distractions. Whoa, come on, copy and paste. I believe in you. There we go. See, sometimes you just got to believe in them. Try and fix desk. Desk if can, max 1 minute. Okay, perfect. And then we got a deep work session in 5, lock the F in. Cool. That's the recap. So I now feel way clear about what I got to do. I'm excited to get rid of this doubt so I can be in 100% flow state. I'm not sure if this really made sense or if it really comes across how important this is to do. I do it maybe every day, every couple of days. But I think for 14 minutes and 18 seconds of work, this is some of the highest leverage stuff you can be doing as an entrepreneur, without a doubt. So I'm gonna just end it here. Yo, quick part two to this video because I had this doubt. What if it doesn't work out? And I wanted to just look at this in private, just in case anything super personal came up. But I realized that it's actually a very simple fix. It's something I can show in public. And look, we're going to do some gentle exploration and questioning here, like I would do on a call. And we're going to start here. What does it mean to not work out, right? And we're going to go, if, what if what doesn't work out? So we're actually going to start here, just sequentially. So as we go through this, what if what doesn't work out? I guess the business, outreach, getting, like, I guess my biggest fear here would be I can't get a consistent flow of clients, right? Which is interesting. And now, so we're at a bit of a crossroad. So it's like, what if I can't get a consistent flow of clients? Is that a fear I have? See, this becomes more logical now because I've just gone that extra layer deeper. What if I can't get a consistent flow of clients? Well, that would be bad, right? Or so let's say for some reason it's just impossible for me to do that. Let's say for some reason it's impossible for me to do that. Firstly, it isn't because at the very least there's someone else out there. Like so, look, there's other people doing this. It's possible. I already have clients. I get maybe the best results in my industry for clients. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. I get the best results in the industry, right? So obviously, logically, this is this makes no sense. But that's not what we're not dealing with logic here, right? We're dealing with feelings and beliefs. So either it's possible or it's impossible. If it's impossible, I want to find out ASAP so I can pivot, right? If it's possible, then let's do it. The only way is through, right? So this is interesting. So can I actually get this so I don't block myself? Right, here we go. So a question I always ask is how does this change things? And it's interesting because we now come to a conclusion. The only real risk is not finding out if it's possible or not for me to get clients. And what does that mean? That means I gotta find out ASAP and take Sean, combination. If anybody knows that Drake reference, shout out to you. Anyway, now if we come back to what if it doesn't work out, then good actually. If it doesn't work out, good because then I know and I can pivot and I can do something else. But this is well known logically. It can work out. I'm good enough for it to work out. My coaching is clearly good enough to work out based on the testimonials I have. And this, what does it mean to not work out? This has actually been solved now. We don't need to go into this, but it may be interesting. What does it mean to not work out? So this before was actually like a cloudy, unclear, binary success failure thing. But it's like my life doesn't work out, my biz, my outreach, right? It's like no, this one offer plus acquisition system didn't work. If it doesn't work out, cool, we try another one, right? It's literally that simple. Plus, like other side notes, just to really embed this perspective, is taking this action will firstly reveal the path. Secondly, it will let the path emerge, let me say, or force the path to emerge. Let me say this. Sufficient action forces the path forwards to emerge. Plus, you learn the necessary skills here by failing. So the equation becomes sufficient action plus failure. Bam. Link in the description, actually, a link to this exact document. Subscribe, like, I would love it if you do that, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.